Thanks to Field Agent Canada for sponsoring this episode. We'll be talking about one of their solutions called ratings and reviews in the middle of this podcast. Stay tuned.
Welcome to This Commerce Life. We are an unscripted podcast dedicated to small businesses and entrepreneurs in the retail and consumer packaged goods space in Canada and the United States.
I'm Phil Chang, co-host and co-founder.
And I'm Kenny Benucci, co-host and co-founder of This Commerce Life.
Our love is the journey to retail, and our passion is sharing that with you every week.
You want a real question? Kelsey's out tonight. What do I do? Do I sub in Juju Smith-Schuster? He's not playing tonight, but that's the only receiver I've got. Now, what do I do? You want a problem? That's a problem. Shit.
I don't, Miki, in case you're wondering, I have no idea what he's talking about.
Okay. I'm like, I missed maybe just one word, but I feel like I missed a big piece.
No, I caught all the words, but I don't understand any of that. So
Football starts tonight, kiddies. Football starts tonight. So all the fantasy leagues are starting, right?
I see.
So I've got a player that went down in a key spot.
Right. Start them all. Well, I don't know.
That's a real good answer, Phil. That's
real. I try,
That's a big help, young man. A big help of nothing.
You got it. Anytime. You
anyway.
What season start? Is it football?
Football
is starting already?
tonight, baby. Tonight.
Okay.
Tonight.
I wouldn't know.
How are you?
Good. Can you guys hear me and see me?
Yep.
I have an exclamation mark on my camera, so I don't know if
You
that's
do?
of concern, but as long as you didn't see
I don't know
me.
what that means. Yeah. No. We see you and hear you just fine. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
How are the two of you doing?
Good. My mom just dropped off food.
Oh, what did your mom make?
I'm
His
going to get
mom.
it wrong. And she listens to the podcast, and I wasn't listening.
She is the most
Lemon zucchini?
wonderful. She made
Lemon
what?
zucchini loaf, I think.
Lemon zucchini loaf.
You know, whatever it is, it's so freaking good. It's ridiculous.
Whatever Mama Venucci bakes, I eat all of it.
Zucchini, it's
She
that
makes-
season.
She
That's
makes
so
the
good.
best biscotti. Like, oh my God, it is just.
She's a great baker.
Yeah.
She's a great cook.
Yeah, and like Easter bread, I don't know, all sorts of things. Whatever she bakes, she bakes, I eat.
And home delivery.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What do you want, right?
I want more. No, actually, I can't handle more.
No.
Can't handle more. It's a lot. Oh my gosh. But no,
That
otherwise
sounds
we're good.
perfect.
We're good. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's going on? What's going on with you? How's things?
What's going on? I just, as with all entrepreneurs, I think in this business and many other, it just feels really busy, like trying to just kind of keep your head above water.
How's
I
that
had a
going?
demo. It's like the everyday challenge, every moment challenge. I
It
was
is
at
what it is.
Whole Foods until 2 and then
Wow.
and quickly packed up, and then I got a parking ticket, which was so
Oh, no.
disappointing. So any money I made
Well, that's
selling
the
the
thing.
product went to that ticket.
You do the math and you're thinking, I just wasted that whole time in terms of cash. Met some people, you sold some product. That's awesome. But every profit just went right out the window.
Right up, and I paid for parking, because it's the Whole
Of course
Foods
you
on
did.
Canby, so you got to pay for the parking,
Yeah.
stay on it, and then I quickly packed up, and I was like, oh my god.
So what?
guess
He
it
got you.
happens.
They got you right at the end of your pay, your time
Yeah,
period.
I kind of banked on chance a little. I had like a 20-minute that it expired because I went
Yeah.
down every 2 hours, and between setting up and tearing down, it's a little more than 4 hours that you're there. And he caught me.
You got to get the
Yeah,
app.
I don't know what I was thinking. I forgot to do it on the app this time around. I have the app. I use it
Yeah.
all the time. And then for some reason I did it the old school way this time around. And it bit me. Yeah. But no,
Cool.
things are just busy trying to, stay on top of the accounts that we have. I was in Victoria all day yesterday trying to bring the product into Thrifties because we just got into the local program with Sobeys.
Lovely.
So yeah,
Awesome.
it's great.
Lovely.
But also,
Lovely.
more to stay on top of. So it's that hamster wheel.
Uh-huh.
But it's good. That's the problem that you want, right? We
Yeah, I
want to
mean,
grow and
at least
scale.
the wheel's spinning.
It's spinning. It's very much spinning. Yes. Yes.
That's better than not spinning.
For
It is
sure.
true.
That's what we want.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Excited to talk tofu today.
I'm excited to thank you for inviting me. I'm really excited to be here.
I'm glad you
Yeah,
came on.
We're,
I'm glad you came on.
we're really glad you came on. Yeah. Maybe we'll do Kenny, do you want to do a quick intro?
I can't because I don't have my LinkedIn open.
Okay. So we have
And I don't
Miki.
remember things. That's how bad we both are. Like we don't prep. It's just so
I
bad.
love it.
No, wait,
It's
but
hard
I
because
remember things.
He
Just
does.
because I
used to
don't
not
prep doesn't
forget.
mean I
I
don't
wasn't
remember
thinking,
things.
holy shit, you're on today. Oh, I didn't realize that. Like, oh my God. Now I got to try to figure out what the hell's the company name? And Phil saves me.
So we've got Miki Talebi.
Yes,
Talebi?
perfect.
Talebi. Okay, so we've got Miki Talebi on, and she is the founder of Ume. Did I get that right too? Okay,
That's
good.
perfect.
2 tough ones, and I got it.
Yeah.
And she's the founder of Ume, and we are going to talk Mickey, all things Mickey, and then we're going to talk about tofu, which I
There'll be
love,
more tofu and a little
in
more tofu.
all shapes and forms. So this is fantastic. And then we're going to find out about you. So the next 45 minutes is yours. We are excited.
Okay.
We'll definitely interrupt and ask questions, and I might get very excited about tofu at some point. So, but I'm excited to hear about you and how you got here to this crazy adventure.
Let's see how excited you get me about tofu.
It doesn't matter. Look,
I don't
it doesn't
necessarily-
matter. Doesn't matter how excited he is. All right. So focus here. I'm excited already.
If you can get someone off his butt to go buy it, you're killing it.
Okay. I mean, I know right off the bat, I'm in a little bit of a niche market. It's not going to be for everybody, and I'm not here to twist people's arms. It's another option on the table.
For sure.
Some people are, pleasantly delighted, and they try something new, and it's another piece they can add to their roster. And for other people, tofu is just not their thing, and that's okay. I'm like
I
constantly.
actually love it. I really like it. I don't buy it. And you know what?
Okay.
I don't even know what to do with it. Like I know you can do things with it, but honestly, I look at it and think, I don't know what the hell to do with it. So I'll just order it.
Really?
I'm
You've
dead
been
serious.
around me this long and you don't know what to do with tofu.
Buddy, I live in Vancouver.
Come on,
Are you
Kenny.
kidding? An Italian in Vancouver can find tofu anywhere.
Between me and
No
John
problem.
C.
I
how
get
can
it.
you not? Oh my goodness.
I won't
It's
buy
true,
it
it's
because
Mickey, it's my fault. I've clearly not done my job.
I just get a little freaked out. Seriously, you know what? I look at it and think, what am I going to do with this? Like, really? I don't know what the hell to do
Oh
with this.
my gosh.
It's
It's
true,
like
though.
it's like the
That's
Forrest Gump
barrier.
thing. You could make
Okay.
you could.
It's not me,
But
Phil.
this is where we come in, Kenny, because I mean, I would say like for a lot of non-Asian cultures, it's that like that's they're like it just tastes like nothing. I don't know what to do with it. So
I know.
we smoke it and we flavor it, and that's like half the challenge right there, because it has some taste to it, and you can just eat it the way it is, or you can continue to add to your cuisine and use it as a complement to your dish. But
You're so much nicer than he is. So you didn't make me feel bad. You make me feel so bad. I like talking to you
Phil.
better. You're much nicer. Anyway.
But I can start from the beginning. I mean, we did meet
Wherever
and
you
we
want.
did chat a little bit. Okay.
I love to know, so I think what people love, like what we love about what we do
Mhm.
is I love to see where people sort of came from, how they ended up here. Because some are natural progression. Oh, my mom and dad owned a grocery and blah, blah, blah. And they kind of go into, and then there's others that have no reason in the world to be in CPG. You probably fall maybe closer to the latter.
I wasn't prepared, but I'm looking at your LinkedIn. We cross a bunch of paths.
Yes.
Do we, Phil?
Yeah, so you come out of Centennial College? Is that
I
you?
did some additional courses at Centennial. My master's and PhD were at Carleton.
Okay.
So that's where like the bulk of my
Yeah.
higher education was.
Okay.
But I did look into like diversity and inclusion, and really wanted to like shift career down that path a little bit. And so I took some courses there. But it's interesting, like Kenny, when you ask like which camp do I fall in, for me as an individual, I definitely don't have a CPG background. I have a very academic background. I studied psychology all the way through until as far as you could go, did a dissertation and all of those pieces. But my dad was in the food industry. He was a meat broker. And I mean, as far as I can remember, he was on the phone and he could sell and talk to anybody. And
so
like,
then there is a natural
that was his thing.
somewhere in there.
Now I'm like, okay, we're starting to intersect. But at the beginning, growing up, I'm like, that's the furthest thing from what I could ever imagine myself doing.
Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine being so vulnerable and putting yourself out there and talking to strangers and selling to strangers.
Now look at
But
you.
it's interesting how things happen. Yeah. So
Now you're slinging tofu. Look at that.
slinging tofu. Not quite what my dad would have imagined. I think he might
A
have.
little different protein maybe than what your man was doing, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Like that, it's protein. It's the same
Yeah.
thing, you know.
Right?
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. So yes, I mean, my previous career, I was in public policy at a nonprofit mental health agency. And then I went on a maternity leave, and I wasn't quite fulfilled doing that. I mean, you feel like you're doing good, but I felt so far removed from it, kind of just paper pushing, that it didn't feel very impactful and very fulfilling. So I was exploring my career, and I had taken some courses, as we just alluded to, Phil. And it was also when the pandemic had hit, and not related to the pandemic whatsoever, but my dad actually had a really unfortunate accident and landed himself in the hospital in the summer of 2020. And so that like really changed the course for my sister and I, and like for all of us. So the routine for the next 4 months just was, you know, figure out what the family at home, my 2 little kids and what my sister's kids were going to eat for dinner. And the dads were looking after the kids at home. And my sister and I were just with my mom the whole time.
Right.
And in that time, we would like ask each other, like, what are you cooking tonight? What are your ideas? And really struggling. And we just were saying like smoked tofu would be such a great one because it's so easy, it's protein, it's healthy. Where did it go? It just disappeared during the pandemic for some reason. And my dad had given me his old smoker. He loved using his smoker to create brisket and smoked salmon and all of those delicious animal proteins. And so he gave me his old smoker, and I very facetiously said to my sister, like, you know, how hard can it be? I'll make smoked tofu. I'll figure it out. Very much a sarcastic comment, and I did not think anything of it. But after all of the ups and downs with my dad, he didn't make it at the end of 2020. And so he passed away. And then that very sarcastic comment, I just couldn't let go of it. It felt like a real constellation of me looking for a new direction, trying to figure out how to honor my father. He had this passion. There was no smoked tofu in the market at that moment. Why not take a chance on myself? I really admired entrepreneurship, but I always just was not really a risk taker in that regard. So it just felt like, you know, if I want to also model to my kids what it means to sort of take a chance and find a passion, why wouldn't I try to embody that as well? So all of those pieces just seemed to collide, and I spent all of 2021 learning how to use a smoker, coming up with recipes, understanding branding and NFTs and sell sheets, and like so many, like how do you incorporate, how do you trademark all these? I'm still figuring it out.
There's
Now
so
I'm
much
figuring
good.
out promotional planning and all of these pieces. But so that was the journey, and then launched May 2022. And we've had some really good traction. I mean, we were just in Whole Foods this past May we got in. So we've been accepted
awesome.
into like just over 100 stores. Yeah, it's been
That's
an
awesome.
amazing journey.
That's a big
Yeah,
So you're
I
100
feel like I
stores at
found my place.
100 stores in the Lower Mainland island kind of thing, interior, like BC?
Yeah, I would say BC. We're on the island. We're in the interior. Of course, Vancouver is like really where we've we've got some depth.
Okay.
And then a little bit, I would say, in Alberta, and we're going to be doing an Ontario launch. I'll be at CHFA in September.
Awesome.
So trying to figure all of that out as well.
Awesome.
And just,
Yeah, that's
and just
fantastic.
Awesome.
grow. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been exciting. It's been busy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. Good for you, though. That's good.
Thanks,
I'm
Ken.
laughing because I can see. I'm just picturing your dad from above looking down, thinking, "Why she got tofu in my smoker?"
Right?
I
Absolutely.
love her, and it's all good in the hood, but really,
Yeah.
really,
Of all things,
She's pushing
right?
tofu?
All
Like,
things.
really?
Yeah.
really,
Yeah, of all things
I
that go
know.
in the smoker. Wow, that's
Right?
really cool,
Yeah.
though.
that's awesome, though. That's kind of cool, though. I like the fact, even, yeah, it's kind of neat. It's paying homage, right? I mean, I don't know, it's kind of cool. That's awesome.
Thank
So,
you.
what
Yeah.
tofu in the market? Because I didn't think, I don't, again, I don't eat and buy. I know it's out there because we even had it in the store,
Yeah.
off and on, but I didn't realize it, like, kind of a supply chain, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I never really fully got the answer to why it was gone, but I was Googling, like, and there was, of
Really?
course, there's different forums for
Mhm.
these things. And so there was a Facebook group, and some speculated, like, that. So Sunrise is really like the dominant player
That's
for
the
tofu,
dominant
and
player.
they have a great smoked tofu. Some were saying that, you know, they dropped that SKU to focus on other SKUs during the pandemic, which a lot of companies did.
Easier, less
Yeah,
steps.
or a machine had broken down. So who knows?
Sure.
For one reason or another, it was gone for a period of time. And so I'm
It could
grateful
be,
because
I mean, it could
that
be
pushed me.
demand, right? It could be
It
demand
could be
because
demand.
really, like, Asians, for the most part, they kind of like their soft, their medium, right?
Mhm.
Like, hard is not one we use for, like, I'm thinking of the
And
Chinese
smoked, I don't
dishes.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, like we might use a hard every now and then, but then it generally goes back into stews and things like that. So there's not really I would definitely say soft and medium are where the markets are, at least based on what I know. And then
Right.
smoked
I
is
think
definitely a little out
I
I
there.
think you're
think
spot on,
position,
Phil.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even when I'm doing a demo, I find a lot of the Western sort of culture demographic are really interested because they don't know what to do with tofu, and we're sort of filling that void. They love putting it on their sandwiches and in their salads. And, you know, in the Asian culture, we don't put it on our sandwich and our salad. It goes into your stew, it goes into your stir fry, right?
That's right.
And so it's a really different use case.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so when they taste it, they're like, you know, they're probably not to stereotype, but they're a very narrow part of our demographic.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they know what to do with traditional tofu. That's not that's not a problem for them. People ask, like, you know, you should get into TNT. And I just think, like, it's not quite the right place for this
It's
type
not
of
the right
product. It's
thing,
also
is it?
really expensive compared to your traditional
Yeah.
tofu. Yeah, so we're
Now,
aiming
having
for a
said
different.
that, though, once you're into second and third generation with any culture,
Yes.
it changes, right? Because kids will become kids, and you do what your friends do, right? That's so it could potentially work in there, but it's funny because
Yeah.
I can tell you that the
soft and medium.
smoke would go great in a ramen.
Oh,
Like,
lots of
It's
things.
just
so
from an
good.
Asian crossover,
It's
like
so
in a
good.
Yeah.
ramen, it'd just be like, oh,
I bet.
so yummy.
I tell
Yeah.
people, like, especially our maple soy one, like, if you thinly slice it, instead of your traditional meat that would go on your ramen, you do that, and it's really, like, buttery and delicious. But I
Wow.
mean, I use it
I
all
was
the
thinking
time
on
now.
top
So
of with the protein
yeah.
that I would normally
Mhm.
get, but
or with the protein.
I-
I mean, there's no rules here.
Whatever you want to do, Phil, you just go do.
You would make my father proud.
Exactly.
I like
Yeah.
to think I bridge both worlds, right? So, you know.
Yeah, of course. And it's for everybody. It's not just for the
Yeah.
vegan plant-based. So that's what I try to tell people too. Yeah.
Okay, so you took some time to figure out the smoking part. How did you? Because I can't imagine there's a lot out there on how to smoke tofu.
No. No, there's not at all.
Right?
It was very iterative.
Okay.
Yeah. And even from a food safety standpoint, like, there's no
Yeah.
guidelines to refer back to. So we really took, like, from a food safety perspective, a really conservative approach. Just make sure we're pasteurizing, like we're getting to that 85 degrees.
Yeah.
And then a lot of just iterating with what type of wood chips. Now we're really lucky because my father-in-law has a cherry orchard in Oliver. So when he's pruning the trees, we get the wood and we're using those wood chips. So it's a beautiful
awesome.
cherry wood, which is great. So it's not overpowering, but you get like the nice natural smokiness and yeah, like how long do you marinate? Also, we don't want to marinate too long because you're losing water content. So then the weight of our tofu is fluctuating. Lots of things that I've learned along the way.
Things you don't think about. Well, you don't think about because you're not. If you were doing it on you're not commercializing. So
right, you don't need consistency.
Who cares? One meal's different than the other. You don't remember anyway. But as soon as it goes into a package, right? You got to be like all the time.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I never thought of the. I mean, I would just assume the smoking is kind of smoking. It's low and slow. I mean, hopefully, I guess it holds and stays together. I mean, I guess you could. I never thought. Yeah, I guess you'd start to evaporate and.
Low and slow, but not too long either, because it's going to dry out. You're going to lose water.
Yeah, that's what I kept thinking. Meat is what's the big deal, right? You can leave pork on for 6 hours, and that's not a. I don't think you can do that with tofu.
No, ours is much faster. It's like a 2-hour, smoke process. Yeah.
So how do you, because this is one of those things that, like, I feel like for anyone who eats tofu, it's a blind spot, right? It's a little bit like, it's, it's like asking an Asian how you make rice, right? You go, I put it in the rice cooker, we're done, right? Like, so you kind of go, so how do you make tofu? Well, I go to the grocery store, I buy it, right? Like,
right.
However you do it. But how do you, like, sourcing tofu is weird. So do you like make your own tofu, or do you source tofu? Like, that's weird to me too.
That's an interesting piece as well. So at first, when I had this idea, I also taught myself how to make tofu. I looked all of that up, and that was also very iterative, and I taught myself how to make tofu. And then when I decided, it's not like it's
thought about making tofu. Like you buy
it. Oh no, right? I've seen it made, and I'm like, no, I'll just go buy it.
Time consuming.
That wouldn't even enter my mind. Just go buy a big block or whatever the hell you buy. You don't
listen. It's like making bread, right? It's not that hard, but you kind of look at it and go, no,
but
it's okay. I can go down the I can go down the street and just buy a loaf. I'm
It's like making bread. Like, it's the water content and how long you ferment and, like, temperatures. So I tried, and I made tofu, and I really enjoyed it. I liked, the consistency, and I sourced the soybeans, and I wanted it to all be local, and I figured out who the wholesaler would be. And then my husband, who's like really supportive, and he has joined the business too now. He sourced like a baby commercial tofu machine, and so we brought that over from China. Like, we imported this little machine that sat in the garage, and we were like trying to figure this out. Of course, it's all in Chinese, and it's not up to code here in Canada, so that was like another huge stressor. And like, I'm not even joking, there was like soybeans flying everywhere, and like something smelled wrong because there was a stone that was grinding the soy, and then he did the financial model, and he was just like, you just absolutely cannot make the tofu, Miki, like, until that's like tens of millions of dollars to build out a plant and make tofu.
Exactly.
Like, there's a reason Sunrise is kind of the only one dominating the country.
You'd be $80 a pound otherwise.
I would be paying people to use my tofu, basically. So, because just even making it, and then you have to marinate it and smoke it. So we do locally source our tofu, and then we marinate it, and we smoke it, and we process it, and run it. Run the rest of the
garage anymore, though, right? We've actually got somewhere to do this now, right?
Yes, we're in a facility in Richmond, not the garage.
Okay, we graduated
facility in Richmond.
No, we got our HACCP actually,
and we
just
have a mixer. The poor husband's
we're killing
it. Yes. Yeah. Keep it on. Don't tell Whole Foods. Yeah. Whole Foods is very, the rigor that you have to go through when you get into a place like that. Like, they really forced us to level up really quickly. So we just got our HACCP certification, and that felt like a huge mountain to climb over, figuring all of that out. So that was, yeah. So it feels like we've got a good program in place now for all of those pieces.
I guess you're learning too that really every step of the way, as much as information is out there, nothing's really packaged well. Like, no, but there's no, here's the book.
Yeah,
Just
there's no
read the
playbook.
book.
Yeah,
No.
there's no playbook for building your own CPG business, especially when you're manufacturing on your own as well. There's for bigger businesses, I feel like there's a little bit, even when we're going through the due diligence with Whole Foods, it's like, who's your food safety person? Who's your merchandising? Who are all of these people? And it's like all my name and all my husband's name. There is no department for all
That
of
is
these
the people.
pieces. Yeah, we are all the people.
Yeah.
And so I think like the playbook is like, yeah, how do we hold all of these hats and stay sane and try to stay on top of it, and continue to grow the business until it's a viable, it's growed and it's viable and we can start to hire. That's like the real challenge, I think. Yeah.
Well, tell us how
Well,
you're managing that.
I think that's one of the challenges. But then the other one is, because by the time you get there, right, you'll be so used to wearing all the hats, right? Because that's another founder challenge is you
That's
get
the
there and all of a
fundamental
sudden
problem,
it's like, okay, so you don't need to wear it. And you're like, no, that's my hat.
I do worry. Yeah.
These are all my hats. Like,
but you
yes,
gotta
but
let
no,
that go.
right? Like it becomes a thing. Like,
No, you're right. You're right, Kenny. How do I manage it? I'm not sure. You have no choice, I would say. Like when you're at this stage of the business, you just have to. Like for me, the routine is, get up, get the kids fine. They're back in school, thank goodness.
Thank God,
So get the kids ready for school. And then we're really lucky. We lean on my mom and my mother-in-law, and they do a lot of the school pickups. And I'm either racing to a demo, or I'm helping out at the facility, or I'm, taking meetings, doing fun things like this, or trying to stay on top of email, and then have dinner with the kids, take them to their activities, put them to bed, and try to do as much as I can before bed, and like do it again the next day. But it's true, because I feel like I've got my hand in almost all the components of the business. One day I can see that it would be challenging to let go of some of those pieces and really trust that somebody else can like hold different roles, and that I just can let go of that.
But
I think that's challenging
you
too.
already know that that's half the battle, right? Because a lot of people don't understand that, like Phil said, you start wearing all the hats, it just becomes second nature. And then it's hard to let go of the hats. Plus, it's also hard to grow when you can't let go of hats.
Yeah.
The everyday shit really is not stuff you should be bogged down on. Like you should be looking at the high level. Where's the money? Where's the money coming from? Is the money coming in quick enough? Whatever. All those things are where the business lies, not so much into the floors get swept at 4 o'clock or 4:30 or, like it's important stuff, but other people can do that. That's not.
Yeah.
But it's nice to hear when you talk, because we meet so many other peoples that they get $1 in sales and they're hiring people. You're thinking, oh, well, buddy, calm for a minute.
Yeah.
Take a minute. You can't do that. Like, there's a lot of free work.
It's true. It's
Right?
true. There's a lot of free work. There's a lot of, can you hear the construction, or is it just me? I hope it's not.
Just you.
Okay.
Nope.
Yeah, there's a lot of free work. There's a lot of like government support. It's also like knowing where to seek. There's, BCIT and UBC, like there's programs where they will offer research and internships, all of those things. So those are pieces that like I think we're we're old enough as a business. I feel like we're still newborns in the business, but some of them you have to be like a couple years old and have a little bit of revenue behind you before you can qualify. So we're at that point where I think we can start taking advantage of that. But no, I agree. I think we're going to try to stay as bootstrapped as we can for as long as we can, especially in this economy where institutional funding just feels like highway robbery with the interest rates and all of those pieces.
Listen,
So
at least they're still lending. Give it another
That's
4 or 5
true.
months, right? And I think that's going to even slow down. So if you can do this and you can buckle down, and thank God there's the two of you, and you got I mean, honestly, the mom's become an absolute
It's
grandma's
huge.
become a blessing of blessings because the kids are at least with family. That stress is enough to
Oh, for sure.
drive you
Oh,
off
yeah,
the
yeah.
edge. Never mind the other stresses. I mean, that at least okay. At least I know those two are fine, and
Mhm.
we can do our thing. But it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of work. It's just a lot
It's
of
a
work.
lot of work. It's a
It
lot
is.
of work, and I knew it would be a lot of work. And we check in. I check in with my husband a lot. I'm like, "Are you okay that like we're doing this?" Because he left. He was really good at his job. He left a solid, stable income, and now we're doing this. But I think we both always felt like if we're gonna work this hard, at least do it for ourselves.
Absolutely.
And so yeah, we're gonna because he's a really hard worker. I also am not one to shy away from just doing the grunt work. So if we're gonna do it, then at least we're doing it for a business that
Right.
we're investing in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes
It
sense.
makes total sense.
Okay, so you start like it's even your timeline is amazing, right? Because you kind of start thinking about this, you start thinking about doing this, and then you learn how to smoke. You learn, gosh, like how many people are kind of tofu experts? Do you know what I mean?
3 years,
Probably
really, right? That's the thing. 3 years ago,
you and one
time
poor
your dad
guy
went
at
in, right?
sunrise that hasn't seen the sun and he hasn't seen a sunrise, and
Well,
Yeah.
exactly.
No, it's true. Like I tried to find support and knowledge because my father was really well connected in his industry. He had great relationships with like Seven Seas seafood business, and so they do all the smoked seafoods. So I reached out to them and I was like, "Can I talk to your?" I didn't even know there was a smoke master. Can I talk to your smoke master? And I did, and he was like, "You're doing what? I'm sorry, I can't help you." Um, he did teach me what HACCP meant because I had no idea like
Right.
that's what it
We
stood
got that
for.
done.
So I
Yeah.
got that. But like he was like, "I'm sorry, like you're gonna want wood chips, you're gonna want a smoker, but like aside from that, I can't really give you a playbook on this." So it's true, like it was a lot of figure it out by yourself. And just which is how so many other people have landed their products too. So I think
I
it's
don't know.
just like
You're
there's a
in a
level of
little different
determination.
spot. I think you're in a
Yeah.
little different spot than a lot because really and truly, if you want, like for yourselves, like you're going to make this work. You know it, right? Because you've earned stores, like you're getting distribution, you're selling, you're already on your way. Probably doesn't feel like it right at this particular moment. You're definitively on your way. So it comes. It's sometimes just a little slower than we want, and you can't see it. But I actually truly believe that. But
Thanks, Kendall.
you picked a spot now that's kind of cool in that there's a pretty good barrier to entry here because there's no playbook. Like who the hell's going to want to go learn for 2 years how to smoke a freaking piece of tofu?
Yeah, it's true. Like
Come on, like that's
you can do it, but you have to just commit to doing it. So yeah, that's the piece I think.
Is
And I also think
your LinkedIn title Tofu Master? I feel like that should be your. I feel like that should be your title on like no. See, it's only founder and CEO. I feel like you need to be called
tofu master, tofu smoke master.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm being totally fair, I should probably pass that title on to my husband because he's really the one in operations.
Nobody knows that. Don't worry. No, you keep it. We won't tell anybody.
Yeah, you keep it for you.
For you.
That's my badge of honor. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but
yeah,
I'm yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I do feel like I'm fortunate in that as much as there's lots of different types of tofu on the market, there's not that much smoked tofu, and so I feel like it's a pretty unique niche. And the other angle that really landed us the nomination, which is why you invited me on here in the first place, is that I really kind of took a gamble and decided like we're going to invest in our in how we look in our packaging because I'm half Japanese and we used to take family trips to Japan on an annual basis growing up, and like I'm a real sucker for how things are presented on the shelf. I just love good packaging. And so it always bothered me, like, how am I going to make sure that my product is going to present really well on the shelf? I really wanted to portray that. So we spent a lot of time and money trying to figure out how to make tofu look beautiful. As much as it sounds kind of cheesy, for me, it was really important.
I
So
think
the
it's
branding
important
and the
to be
packaging.
honest with you, because if you go to the shelf right now, just so we're all very clear to the three of us, it ain't too pretty looking. Tofu that comes in a bag with water, it like really does not look massively appealing. Your product presents extremely well.
Oh, no,
Like
it's beautiful.
totally CPG, really
Actually beautiful.
attractive.
Yeah.
Really attractive.
Thank you. And I think there's function to it too, because when you're buying it and you're taking it home and you're not going home right away, like there's a cold air pocket that really keeps between the vacuum seal and the actual packaging. So I think that it also has a little bit of function. But yes, we wanted to present ourselves well too.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't know that. That's
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to, I guess, it'd be nice to function. At the end of the day, no matter what, we're still in a world of attractiveness at shelf of whatever it is critical. Sorry.
It's so critical.
We may not like it and we all want to package it in, clear this or, whatever. That's great. But people say that and they don't buy it. So
now more than ever. Yeah. Everyone's leveling up their packaging now. I'm noticing like it's a really important piece of the
important.
Game.
I think it's also a neat distinction because maybe like functionally the way you use this tofu versus the way Asians might buy tofu, right? Or the way might it's also I think the packaging is super appropriate because it allows you to know that this is a high functioning.
It needs to be distinct to your point.
You know what I mean?
It's got to stand out. It's different. It's tofu, but it's not that tofu. It's over here.
It's not the bucket that you dump half the water out in the little gunky.
This is true.
Corner water, whatever that thingy is, right? And then you walk around like this, waiting for it to drip dry before you put it in your cart. So it's just not any of those things, right? Like it's actually a beautiful package, right?
We'll be right back. Hey, Kenny.
Phil.
We just got a product listed back at a national or at a regional banner.
Thank God.
Yeah, I know. But the problem is we were out of stock for a while. And then when it got back in stock, it really didn't turn. But we've kind of gone back in and the buyer's given us another chance. I know usually I'm the marketing guy, but shoes on the other foot. What do I do? Now's the time, right? Like this is the final yards. We gotta, if you use the sports analogy, we're in the final, we're in the end zone.
Buddy, this is it. We need to drive more people to this specific retailer.
Right.
And we need more people to talk about our specific coffees in this specific retailer. And that's where I had a wicked conversation with Jeff Doucette at Field Agent Canada last week. And I shit you not, this thing that they're doing is so freaking cool. It hurts. If I wanted to do something this weekend, I could call them. We could hone in on the amount of stores or the specific stores that we want to talk to. Have these people that he's got 250,000 people. He'll hone it down to coffee drinkers aged 15 to 29 if we want. If they're in this field, they'll go to these specific stores. They're obligated to buy the coffee. And the obligation is to go home, try the product, and then they have to go on to the retailer's webpage and write a 30-word minimum review on whether they liked or disliked the coffee. Now, obviously, we're pretty confident in our coffee, so I'm okay that I'm pretty sure we're going to get positives. I'm not worried about that. But think of that. Right to the retailer, helping push their reviews, which they all want. We all want, because it is a great way, and legit reviews. So if we wanted to do this weekend, the probability of actually getting it done is so high, it hurts. We could actually have a 30, 40, 50, 100 sample, 200 done for Monday. And the cost is literally, it's going to be for us with our coffee retailing, I'd say, I think about 15 or 16 bucks in this place. We're going to be under $30 per review.
So if you want to check this out, go to www.fieldagentcanada.com/ratings and reviews.
Yeah.
Or just go to their site, fieldagentcanada.com, and then you can click on the services page, and it'll take you to that spot. So
or just go to LinkedIn and just ping Jeff Doucette.
or tell Jeff Doucette that the two knuckleheads sent you.
What's he gonna do?
But that's it, right? Cool.
Awesome program.
And now back to the episode.
Yeah.
A little bit more like cream cheese, actually.
Yeah.
If I were to, kind of venture a thought.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and it is like, it is a premium product. So I wanted to make sure that, we're also presenting that and not shying away from that. And we do ask the premium sort of price point on it. So I think like that's a little bit of a, an education piece, I guess. I mean, I often will say, like, if you're getting a protein that's okay, if we're talking about animal protein, like a grass fed, really organic or whatever, you're gonna pay a premium price, and we use really good ingredients, and we're non-GMO project verified, and all of these pieces. We also are plastic negative and trying to do some good things. So
people will
point.
pay if you take the time to do it properly. People will pay. To your point before, to both you're saying it, you are not going after your folks, your aunts, your uncles. You're not going after the old school. They are not buying your stuff. They're not your market. It doesn't matter what they're used to buying. If they buy it for $10 for 75 kilos, light it up and do your thing. It's not that person. Like, you're trying to be different. You're trying to get people like me. You're trying to get second and third generation,
Totally.
Asian, South Asian, who want different than what the folks had, right? Because they're here now.
I agree.
We're small, right? We're all everybody's trying to up the game and play different tastes and different textures that aren't maybe distinctly from the cultural background of that person, right? Everybody's trying to do some different things. So I really like the spot you're in.
You know what I think is possibly really neat too is if you think of the bridge between old and new, like old generations and new generations, right? Like, I'll use my family as an example. My youngest is 16. She wants to eat as close to vegetarian as she can get because she doesn't like the cruelty to animals. But my mom, bless her heart, right, can't figure out what that really means, right? Like, so you don't want to eat meat, and so, so then the only thing she knows that could sub for, protein isn't a bean, even though she knows how to make like a million different beans. All she keeps making is mushrooms, right? And so my daughter, bless her heart, is like, Grandma brought more mushroom, right? And I'm like, okay. Yeah, and she's like, yay, more mushrooms, right? Like, and then my mom tried making traditional tofu, but she doesn't like traditional tofu because it's kind of soft and mushy, and so I could see my mom going, wait, different kind of tofu, and then it's a different consistency, different flavoring. I could incorporate this in dishes, so I can actually see my mom
potentially trying to do it.
Yeah, because like she won't go to a plant-based because she doesn't understand plant-based.
Sure.
It's not their thing, right? Like, they just don't understand it. But tofu is something they understand. So yours would be it would be flavored tofu, which would be weird, but she would understand consistency and all those sort of things, right? So I can actually see it being a bridge at some point for old to new generations. So
you raise like some really good points, Phil. So like the whole plant-based piece, some people ask like, why don't you say you're vegan, or why don't you say plant-based on the packaging? I just say we're smoked tofu because I think that type of language sometimes can be alienating and intimidating, or even some people that really are not into being vegans or into being plant-based. That's just going to make them feel really averse to this type of product. Right. Yeah. Right? And I just feel like tofu is something that everybody can enjoy. I mean, anybody can enjoy whatever they want, but it's not just for like the strictly vegan person. It really is something for everyone. And then your point about like your mom just going for the soft, more traditional tofu and thinking about her granddaughter, it's very interesting because depending on the store that I'm in, it might be an older demographic crowd, and they'll come, and some are like really lovely and polite, and they will chat and explore it with me. And I know it's not their thing, but they're like, my daughter-in-law, she's vegan. When she comes for Thanksgiving, I'm going to remember this. And so it is something that like is that bridge to like supporting their extended family or the younger generation. So yeah, there's something to be said
And
about
I think
that.
deep down, I think they do. Like, you know, if you want, like, I can watch my folks or whatever. Everybody won't, you know, no matter how old they get, they do like trying or seeing the new things that are out. May not get it,
Yeah,
but
they may not get it.
kind of, you know, and the first thing we'll all do, right? Because you're going to be too expensive. I mean, oh my God, I
Yeah.
could buy 14 truckloads. You know, okay, it's not the point, but that's, yes, you're right on that one. And then they'll go down the flavors and, oh my God, it's not traditional. Yeah, okay. But you can get them there.
Yeah.
You know, you can. It can. It'll happen. And then they will spend on it. Like my mom now, I mean, we got her hooked on 2 brands of pasta that are like fucking ridiculous retails. Like they're so high. But you can't go backwards.
Oh yeah,
You try really good. I mean, why do you want to go back to crap?
I
Tough to
agree.
do that, you know?
I mean, our household growing up, my parents always had Haagen-Dazs ice cream in the fridge. That was their ice cream of choice always. And my sister and I, we love Ernest. Ernest ice cream is like,
Oh my
and
God. Who doesn't love
Haagen-Dazs is
Ernest?
already, who doesn't, right? Haagen-Dazs is already
Ah.
premium,
And
but
Haagen-Dazs
Ernest
actually
is like
well made.
extra.
Sure.
Yeah. But my mom, she always declined. She's like, I want my Haagen. Whenever we made like an apple pie, she has her ice cream and we have our. And then she was like, "Can I try it?" Now she's like, "It's always in the freezer. You know, it's Ernest."
Oh my God.
She's
So,
probably
yeah,
going to share as much now, right?
Yeah.
I know.
Is there ice cream? No. No.
Figure out. You
No,
know what?
there's
This is
none.
really expensive. You eat the Haagen-Dazs. I keep this
Yeah,
for me.
you have the Haagen-Dazs
Right?
there. You just go over there. Don't
Yeah,
look
Yeah,
at
we all
the
have to
freezer.
share one little pint. Yeah.
My God.
But it's
That's
true.
awesome.
Like once you're exposed to something else, then yeah, you're opening that opportunity too.
That's the beautiful thing that's happened probably in the last, you know, really and truly, like the world, as screwed up as our world is and as screwed up as people are, the smallness of the world has made it really cool. And we always say this, like food is that ultimate bridge, the ultimate bridge, right? Because if you can sit and eat and try people's foods and different things, and like I do like the fact, you know, the smoking, like I always figured, like to me, smoking is very much a North American thing, obviously.
Mhm.
Because, well, I mean, it's built into our whole North American society. They were smoking for thousands of years. It's just cool that, you know, you bring all these elements all over, like a mapley smoked tofu. Like, really?
Yeah, the sky's the limit.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
that's
true though.
awesome.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
you can keep evolving like the use case for using your smoker. It's not just for meat and I've heard other people say, you know, like I put pears and apples in my smoker and you get this delicious smoky fruit. So it's amazing.
Pineapples.
People will come up
Oh.
and
Pineapple?
that would be really good.
And then out here in Ontario, it's peach season.
Oh, smoked
Even if you don't
peach,
smoke
yeah.
them, just grilling, like anything outside of the
Mhm.
norm.
I love grilling.
You know,
Yeah.
well, that,
So
you know,
good.
probably more than anything, but pushed man farther, like humans farther. As soon as you start cooking things, man, you change the taste.
Yeah.
Like smoking has got such a nice.
Yeah.
It's different, right?
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. I really think you put yourself in a cool little pocket. It may not be tofu huge in terms of, yeah, it's not soft tofu or medium tofu like that you guys say that you like. I could only eat firm. I can't do mushy, so I do that. But you know what I mean. But it's not going to be volume like that. Who cares?
I want to be friends. I don't understand, Kenny.
I don't understand.
And you know
How
what?
do you
When you
how do
come
you do
here, I think that's all we're having is we're gonna have tofu until we figure this thing out.
I can
I want
do.
an update, Phil. When
Yeah, you
hear
got it.
Penny.
You got it.
If you cut it like if it's a firm one, I can do it. I can't do the puddle. I don't like that. I don't like the
I
texture.
love all of it.
Yeah,
I
me
know you
too.
can.
Bring it
I
on. Bring
can.
it on.
I like it. I like it more meaty, for lack of a better way to say it.
That's fair. No. To your point, Kenny, though, like, yeah, I'm focused on just that specific niche. I know that my product is not for everyone, and I sometimes have to remind myself, like, if you're trying to please everyone, then you're gonna please no one.
Because no one.
Yeah, I need to find the people that really love the product.
Make
and
a
that's it.
really good product.
Yeah.
Stay to your values. Make a really, really good product. And those who love it are going to love it. And those who aren't, well,
Right.
whatever. You don't have to eat it. There's other things you can buy. You know,
Absolutely.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the
I love it.
philosophy. That's what I
So-
remind myself. It's hard
So-
sometimes.
You're coming to Toronto, right? So you're going to launch.
am.
You're going to break out into the east or in Ontario at CHFA, which I love. I can't wait to try it. I'm going to come by.
I
Yeah.
can't wait to try it too. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, you're going to be there.
Yeah.
Might as well go eat.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
gonna be in Incubator Alley. So I'll be in that
Oh,
little
cool.
section. Yeah,
Love
it'll be
it.
great. We already have our Ontario distributor with ONFC, so that's
Okay.
that's really
Okay.
exciting that,
Good.
if accounts have some interest, that we have that in place already. There's just a handful of accounts that already have said that they're on board and they're going to order whenever our product
A
lands there.
handful.
So
Come on, Ontario
Yeah.
retailers. Let's get on this.
I mean, you got to start somewhere.
Seriously.
You got to start
Just
somewhere.
let her be. You
So.
just do your pace. You're getting the good thing going. Now you sound like me, Chang. Jeez.
Oh, I'm talking to Ontario. I want to have this stuff. So hurry up and get it already. Like, come
You should-
on,
yeah.
people.
I'm
We
gonna
gotta
go.
put this
I'm
stuff
also
out here. You
going. I'm gonna land on the Monday, and my goal is just to drive all over the city, pop into
Okay.
the stores,
Yeah.
introduce myself, take a look at what are the competing tofus on the shelf on the east side of the country, and get a lay of
Okay.
the land.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'll be at CHFA for the weekend, so I'm
So we'll be-
excited.
Yeah, we'll be there for
Yeah,
sure.
we'll be there.
Yeah.
We'll
Love
be
it.
there.
Can't wait to see
Love
you
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be,
Yeah, it'd be
it'll
awesome.
exciting. And then I'll see you at BC Food and Bev too, I guess, on the
for sure.
gala night or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels weird that it's called a gallon.
I know the
night.
gala part. Every time I see that word, I think, oh, geez, Louise, what does that mean? I can't no t-shirt. Like, really?
Right?
Really?
You could,
Yeah,
you could get one of the T-shirts with the tie and the.
I'm not
thing
gonna
to
get
go
no
with it.
fake tie
Being in
bullshit.
this business, all the
I
office
can-
attire has gone out the window.
It's dead. It's gone. Who's got
Yeah,
time?
yeah.
Do you want me to order you a T-shirt with the tie
Shut
and the?
up with the
you know,
t-shirt.
on the-
I got my own stuff to fit the way I like to fit. Don't worry. You're just bugging me.
But
Oh,
yes,
that's
I will be
awesome.
there. Mhm.
That's cool.
Um,
That's exciting.
This is really exciting. Okay, so if people want to find you or they want to find the product,
If
where
they
do they
want to find a
go?
product right now
Yeah.
in our neck of the woods, like
Yeah.
give me BC, give me a couple in the island, couple interior. Because if
Yeah.
you don't say the right names, then we're going to ask you. Maybe we'll have to put some feelers out and say, "Hey, how come we not carrying it?"
Sure. Yes. So generally, the ones that are sort of in the interior and even here, Nature's Fair and Choices, Whole Foods, the one in Victoria has us as well, and then
Perfect.
and then here in Vancouver, on the island, Lifestyles, Peppers is a really great one. And Thrifties will be popping up, which is they've got a lot of Thrifties on the island.
Awesome.
So
And then
soon
interior?
Safeway here.
Kootenai Co-op? Yes
Kootenai
or no?
Co-op? No, not
It's
yet.
good.
Yeah.
Pete's, Yig, and Kelowna. Peter must have it.
Pete, yes, he does. Actually, he's
But Peter
had it
will
for
love
like
you. I
at
already
least
know
a
that.
year.
That yeah,
So fantastic.
and Ferrero's and Trail.
No, not yet.
Then you got to talk to David. Talk to David.
Okay,
We
I
grew
will.
up together. No, they got to take it.
I will reach out.
'Cause
Yeah,
those are the
for
guys you
sure.
get. You get Kootenai, Ferrero's, and the Peters, and even Mark and Country Grocer and Salt. Like all these guys are
Yes,
all the old
Country
school-
Grocer, only Salt Lake. He's got
Salt
us, and
Spring
so
Island,
that's
because,
fantastic.
again, I
Yeah.
know, but those are the old school grocers. Those are
Yeah,
the
the
people that are
OGs.
really. Or we got to get
Mhm.
RF in
Tom.
Gibson.
RF.
Does RF have the Super Value on Gibson?
No.
Then
RF.
RF needs to have it too. What the hell, RF? What are you doing? Come
But
We're an
Palm,
RF.
the one in Coquitlam and the one in Nanaimo also
Be
carries
nice
us.
though.
That's
Palm's
really
got a
nice.
nice setup. They're perfect.
They're wonderful. Yeah.
You're up with the
Yeah.
right people. You know that. You're doing. You don't need us to tell you. You've got to figure it out. You
Thanks,
got to
Kat.
figure it out.
Thanks. I don't have it figured out, but I'm figuring it out
You
as
gotta
I
make
go.
it-
You
than you
do.
think.
You do.
You
You
got
gotta
it way
figure it
more
out.
figured out
You got
than
it
you
going
think.
on. Yeah.
You do.
Thank
Yeah.
100%. I wouldn't tell you that. I don't. What do I get for telling you anything? It's my podcast. I can say whatever I want.
I've listened to
That's
both
actually
of you on
Phil's
different
podcast.
podcasts. You both have a pretty amazing background. Very impressive.
I don't know. We don't do
Uh,
compliments. You can't say that on our show.
Nah,
You're not allowed.
we don't talk about it.
Can't
Nobody
take it
cares.
back. It's already out there.
Whatever.
Okay, and then online, where do they go? They go to-
Online, I would
Yeah.
say the main one is Spud. Vegan Supply also carries us, and they
Okay.
do a great job of shipping everywhere. And then, I mean, I think that Choices has an online presence, and
Okay.
Fresh Street has an online presence.
Yeah,
but,
I think
but
they
yeah,
all sort of do, right?
yeah.
And then you have a
Mhm.
really good list on your website. Your website is This Is Umi, right? So THISISOOME.com, right?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay,
I try
yeah.
to keep
So
it up to date.
yeah. So there's a really good list on there if you guys are looking. And then if they want to find you, is like LinkedIn the best place to find you, or
LinkedIn, I'm very accessible. It's just
Okay.
my name, Miki Talebi.
Okay.
And then like Instagram, I also keep track of our Instagram. So if somebody sends a DM, then
Other hat.
I'm happy to respond. Other hat.
Other
I
hat?
do
Okay.
have some support with it, but I'm also
Okay.
very much on there all the time.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. And then like info@thisisume.com, that'll come to me also.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very
Okay.
cool.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for doing this.
I'm really happy
Thank you
came
for
out to me.
inviting me.
Oh my God, our pleasure. Like seriously, you're
Yeah.
a treat to me.
No,
I really,
this was a real treat.
I think it's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I may
That's
even
so
have to go
nice.
buy it. I don't know. I don't want to promise you guys anything.
No
but
pressure, Kenny. I know
may
it's not for
happen.
everyone.
No,
You may have
Kenny, go buy it. Like,
I
no,
need it.
Mickey,
Fuck
don't
yeah,
let him
I
off
just-
the hook. No, you go buy it. Look, she's
You're
got
an
examples.
East
All you
man,
gotta
right?
do is follow
Choices
the
on
pictures.
commercial.
Yeah, I'll run
Yeah.
down to the drive.
You just need
That's
to follow the
City has it
pictures,
too,
right?
probably.
She's got a really nice
City
Greek
Avenue.
kebab, right? You can do the kebab that she has there. That's really great. You could put it on a sandwich.
You know what?
Come
I'm
on,
gonna go.
Kenny.
I'm gonna go stir a beef stew right now. Well, pasta stew sauce. I mean, you know what I mean. So like seriously, tofu doesn't come in my head. But if we go out, I have no issue eating it. I just can't.
Wait,
gotta
but
try.
what's
I hear
what's in your pasta sauce?
It's just
What?
the tomatoes.
It's the
literally
tomato.
tomato
So the
sauce with-
Greek
It's
smoked
stuff that your dad would be
tofu?
so proud of me. It's
I'm sure
beef
he
and
would.
it's fatty and it's meaty and it's greasy. It's like wonderful.
He'd be salivating.
So happy.
Yeah, it's right up
I'm
his
just
alley.
saying the Greek tofu would go in there too, Kenny.
I'm not
Just
And then
saying.
yeah, why not balance it with some tofu?
Yeah.
I
Come
don't.
on, don't make that face.
I'm
Go
scared.
get it and try it. Go throw it in.
How about if they kick me out of the Italian club or something? I don't know.
This is totally something my dad would say.
If they kick you out, you know
He'd
what
feel
that
like
means?
he
It
was
means they're
cheating. Yeah.
yeah, but they're all
Maybe I
probably
did something
secretly
wrong.
eating
How
it
about
at
if someone-
home. Is what's
How about if
happening.
someone looks and sees it or something? Then what are you gonna say? If it's in my shopping cart, you know what I'm gonna say? Oh, that's for my daughter.
You know what? This is
My
how we do
plant-based
it.
daughter.
Mama Vanucci, when you hear this, just tell your son to go buy it. Okay?
My mom will try it with me. We'll do something.
I know. This is what I'm saying. So that's why I just told on you on your mom. So that'll work. It's all good. We'll
There
get
we
him.
go.
All good.
Sounds
Okay,
good.
go enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah.
You do
Thank
your
you
thing.
both so much.
Thank
Yeah,
you very
thank
much
you.
for coming on. Phil, you stick around for a minute.
Yeah.
Take
Take
care.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye, Mickey.
It's got a great spot. Nice niche.
Yeah.
Honestly. And kind of like quasi protected.
No, it's not
nobody's
quasi.
gonna be-
It's pretty
Yeah.
protected. Like,
I mean, she's in a really
seriously.
if she keeps doing what she's doing, like seriously, by the time someone can come in, there's not going to be many artisans that are going to come quickly. Sunrise may do it because, like you said, they already do it, and they're big. But who cares?
No,
Plastic
but you
packaging,
don't.
it's
You
not the
don't.
same feeling.
You
It's
don't
not-
necessarily. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It brings. If Sunrise jumps into this
I wish they
category,
would do it. Even
yeah,
better
because
for
it
her.
adds momentum. Now she's
100%.
in the. They'd be the better. She'd be the best.
Exactly. You
know,
try.
it's
You think, oh, this is
really-
pretty good. I bet
yeah.
you this package is better though.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
you try.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I think
I like
yeah,
it. I like it.
I like it too. I'm with you. I totally like this. I
Yeah.
really do. I think this is a really, really, really cool thing.
I think she's going to have to make up a name for someone who's an expert in like smoked tofu.
I know. I don't know
You know what I mean?
call it.
Because I don't even think there's a name for that.
I don't
right?
think there's. Oh, the Greek one. The Greek one does look nice.
I'm telling you, it actually, like, I really wasn't joking. I think that it would fit in half the pasta dishes that you make. Actually,
You know, the thing is, though, it's like everything. And this is going to simmer for 6 hours. Can this stuff simmer for 6 hours?
yeah,
Or is it going to
it'll
be
break
mush?
down a little. No, it'll break down a little, but it like hard tofu doesn't dissolve like that. It'll crumble a little bit. Do you know what I mean? But
Okay,
like
slow
like
meat.
like a hard cheese, right? Like a hard cheese. If you throw
Okay.
a hard cheese in there, it'll crumble, but it won't lose it. Like it's not going to turn into the watery mush that you don't like.
No, yeah, I don't want that.
Yeah.
If the sauce goes to like this,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna. That's gonna go
Yeah.
right to the recycling.
Yeah.
I want to eat
Got
that.
you. I understand.
Okay.
I understand. Cool.
Okay, maybe I will. I'll give it a shot. I'll try it. I'll try it at CHFA with her for sure.
Yeah.
I'm totally in
Okay.
on this.
Okay.
Very cool.
Cool, dude.
Well, that's
All
it.
right. That's
Thanks
it.
for listening,
Thanks for
everybody.
listening.